I made the site in my spare time using completely free technology. A loan is made every 18 seconds on the website. Our user base of 350,000 people has lent out about $43 million to about 60,000 borrowers.
We Feel Fine automatically runs every 3 or 4 minutes, and it's been running for about 4 years now, having collected about 11 million feelings in all now.
So one of the things we did is we made a video that showed a simulated election and showed us stealing that simulated election. And we took that video and we put it on our website and we let people put it up on YouTube. Within a few days, about 500,000 people had viewed it.
20,000 people coming to talk about a piece of legislation.
15 million low-income individuals have used the Beehive website to find information and to help their lives.
I sent it to 17 people, and within a few days, over 1 million people were coming to it a day.
When I told people the idea, no one thought it was funny. If you were pitching that at a network, they would have said no. Like, there's no way to do it. It's the second most viewed video in internet history. It's approaching 60 million hits.
By the time our next record came out, a video of us dancing in our backyard had been downloaded hundreds of thousands of times before the label could even figure out what single to choose. There's been hundreds of remakes of our videos by our fans, and I suspect they're mostly trying to impress each other. I think that what they really want to do is stand out in the community of weirdos.
It was a global phenomenon within 18 months of that decision to build the software. It had enormous reach because the internet was an open place and they could get on the internet and distribute Skype globally.
There are some applications that it never would have occurred to me to think about in the course of designing the network. In fact, we were careful in this design to be application agnostic. The internet has no idea what's being transported on it. It doesn't know if it's voice or video or a piece of a web page or part of an email. And incredibly, that means the network is completely open to every conceivable application that you can invent.
Some people call that net neutrality, which is that the architecture is neutral as to whether or not I'm moving giant databases about science or movies. But I like to think of it more in terms of my rights as an internet user, which is that I should have a right as an internet user to have access to a neutral architecture that lets me innovate with no more restriction than fulfilling the technical protocols.
Openness means you control, I control, all users control. Closedness means the network provider, the service provider that allows you to get on the internet, controls what you do, what you see, what quality, what speed.
From YouTube to Skype to NPR.org to your blog to my family website, all of the content on the internet is currently controlled by the user, and policies will shape whether it stays that way or whether control shifts away from the user and to the owner of the network.
Companies like Google, eBay, and Yahoo all started as just a few people with a great idea in an apartment or a garage or a trailer, and grew up to what they are today from that start. And what we risk losing is the next generation, because they'll need someone's permission.
It's this choice and openness that has permitted so much American innovation in the network environment. And if we inhibit access to the internet's resources in some way, you will also foreclose a great deal of experimentation that should be taking place. And other places in the world that have a more open access will do better than we do.
Any of the proposals now on the table that would limit citizens' access to the internet would limit their participation in this democracy. It would be, one of the ultimate outrages that as the internet is enabling more people to be engaged, that it would be shut down.
The policy decisions that are going to be made in Washington in the next 5 years are really going to determine the future of the internet. And we've seen what happens in prior policy debates around radio ownership and media.
There's an extraordinary amount of money in Washington right now lobbying the decision makers to permit the network to be re-architected so that this outside, non-profit, non-commercial, as well as commercial innovation can't happen in the same way.
When Maya goes to school, I want to make sure that she can use the internet to educate herself. I hope she can use the internet to find a job and to meet her friends and to take advantage of communications tools that we can only dream of.
It's the things that are going to come out of left field that you couldn't have predicted that we're really going to lose. And we won't know what we lost, and a whole bunch of voices that could have been heard won't be heard.
What we have to dream about is what would happen if every home had access to broadband service. And that broadband service was free, and it was fast, and it was fair.